What's a good frame? Let's find out. Hello people. This is just a video about what I think would be the best frame, just the frame, for you to start your project with, and it doesn't break the bank at all, where some frames can break the bank, because everybody wants, oh, this is the best of the best. But this is a video to say that it's not necessarily true, that isn't. So from this frame that I recommend, the Apex 5-inch, you can do all sorts of variations, and as you can see in there in the background, there's a few here, where initially you started off with, and it's got the GPS on it, where it's almost that's what comes with the kit, the side plates, and it's a square box section, which is tough, and you put some TPU bumpers on the front and you can fly it like that just nicely. And then over time, you can add a shark fin on it, variations of that. Put camera protector on it and that sort of thing. So these are sort of the ones I've sort of gone over time and changed. And then we went with the full everything, the It's FPV era frame, Chris Rosser motors, Voltara, ESC, KISS V2 Ultra Stack, 04 Pro, filter on the front, and again it was all based around the Apex frame, but that's an original one. That's actually easily most expensive. The other one's a lot cheaper. And then I had to go at where you can spray the frame, and I've done a green one and a yellow one with white edging, with the yellow MEPS motors. That's a Fapex, as we'll call them, the cheap frame. And then I've bought a It's FPV era front end, and then just ground the top plate away to fit. Had that in white, and then the same one with that one. These are over the 03 version as well. This one, put this one in. We've got lights that go all the way round. So you can lights that go through the feet and that, something different. And green monster. So from them, I now started doing it with the TPU 04 front end, which again you can find on Thingiverse, and they're just variations. That's another one with the era front end 04. That's got lights on it as well. That's been a good quad to me. Most of them that you see here are fairly cheaply made. That's the only expensive one, expensive everything that is. Just to see how much better this one was in comparison to the other ones that you see. To be honest with you, not much at all. Not much at all. Well, let's have a look what's in the packet then. Out the packet, got 4 arms, 5.6mm. thick arms. I've measured them up. 2mm top plate, 2.5mm front bottom plate, 2mm rear bottom plate, a battery rubber, some side plate cheeks along with the central carbon piece that goes in the middle, I'll show you in a minute, some M3 nuts, nylock, standoffs, more standoffs, button screws M3, more button screws, shorter ones M3, and some tapered M3 stack screws which go with these nuts. I'll show you how to put it together. The longest bit is doing the first bit. I think you get 5 of them, so you've got to spare one of those in case you like one falls under goes for a runner. So the first piece has got them already recessed. We're doing a 30mm stack, and what I do is just plonk all 4 so you get that. Okay, that ends up being flush to the bottom plate. If any of these are a little bit raised, just get some sandpaper on them. You know, get a bit of sandpaper and scrape them down if you need to, because we want it sandwiched. They're going to be sandwiched together, and you don't want this lifting up either way. Okay. So then you take the other bottom plate, and we need 4 little screws. 2, 3, 4 of those little ones, and then these centre holes, we'll pop a screw through. That's self-explanatory. Screw that down. Nip it up a little bit, but still that you can manoeuvre it about. Same with the next one. Sort of line them holes up, the other hole that goes in, and another one. So all you're doing is nipping the screws up at the back. From the last, before we put the last arm in, and I've just tried to put all 4 arms in, you try and manipulate this central piece in. I mean, once it goes in, it's quite loose. Finding the right key, and then you put the last arm in. Up through the hole, and then screw that down. So you end up with something like that. Now the next job is to take the longer screws that you get with a pack. There's 6 in this one, and you poke them through, holding onto the bottom, that piece, so it don't, this piece here, so it don't fall out again. Hold on to that, and then manoeuvre the arms around until you can find the hole. It's quite a tight fit, but they will find, see, that one's gone straight in. They don't want to find the hole, line it up as best as you can, and then use the thread of the screw to find its way, which that one's doing that. Okay, and then the last one. I mean, you can do that as well. Tap it in gently. What you get then is the 4 screws sticking out, and then we're going to marry up it to that. And what I found with this is, like, you get a bit of thread going on each piece, each corner, so you've not, you know that you can feel that you've not cross-threaded it or nothing. And then literally when it's got it, you can feel it, every corner that's not cross-threaded, you can literally start screwing them down into place. That's nipped up, that's nipped up, that's nipped up, that is, and then you literally go round all 8 screws that you put in and give them a good old whack down. As if you'd be doing changing a head gasket or something. And that is the frame. This is the point where you've got the frame together. There's a few things that I normally do. I'm just showing you how to put it together, but there's a few things that I normally do. Is these arms and the edges, all these edges that you get in the pack, especially the arms, it's a good idea to give them a bit of a sand, you know, with some 120 sandpaper, whatever you've got, just to put a bit of an iris on the edge, smooth that edge off, because, you know, it is reasonably sharp, and as you know, sharp corners can cut things like wires and what have you, so it's always best before you put the frame together, is just to put a little bit of a sand around all the parts, and then wash your hands when you've done it. But yeah, basically the rest of the kit, if you want to just see what it looks like after it's all done, is short standoffs and your longer standoffs, loads of these button screw things, and obviously like the taller ones, they go on the front. But the frame itself for the money. Cheers then. And I find, you know, you can have expensive kit in the air, I don't know, you just don't fly as well because you're scared of smashing it up or whatever, whereas something that's cheap as chips, you do it, you know, you don't care, you think, oh, it's only 20 quid or whatever. And then you can put the short standoffs on at the back. You get plenty of screws as well, you get a couple of 3 spares and that as well. And then you've got the side cheeks. They basically just fit in between the standoffs. same on that one. They fit in the standoffs, and then we've got a rubber pad. And just basically line that up. Like that. And then and that, my friends, is a really cheap frame. It's really easy to put together. You've got 8 screws to get at everything. Standoffs at the stack screws. Got about 3mm before it hits the top. And it's a good solid frame. Spare screws, 2 long ones, 1 short one and 1 little nut. And that, in my opinion, for a starting 5-inch frame, it is easily the best. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching.